Hey guys, Matt here from Blaze Capital today. So today I was getting a few questions about like how to manage your trades and that kind of thing when you have a really busy schedule, which is common for a lot of us. We have jobs, you got to run out, take your kids to an appointment, etc., etc. So we can't always be watching our positions. There's a few different ways that we can manage these, and I'll go through a couple of them with you today. So first thing is you can get prepared. So Justin and I help you guys do this all the time. We make watch lists, we'll show our charts. So this is going to come down to you guys having to put in the work as well. We can't do everything for you. If there's some stocks that you want help with, just feel free to ask and we can get you prepared for those trades. So what you're going to want to do is get your watch list together. So I've already done this. I'm starting a new program for my account. I'm going to make a second video and talk to you guys about that after. So this is my watch list going forward for the month of June. There's a few stocks on here. So I'm primarily going to limit myself to ETFs and blue chips. And then there's like 4 marijuana stocks I like trading. So those are on here as well. And then I'm going to keep the stocks from the swing list on here as well, just to keep an eye on them. I don't really like holding stuff overnight. It's just not my style. So my trading's done more on I like to close my positions out by the end of the day, and I use much larger like dollar figures for my trades than other people. So if you're planning on swing trading or holding this for a few days, you're definitely going to want to scale your position size accordingly. I don't really have any set rules for you. It's going to come down to personal preference. But like the general kind of rule of thumb is don't put more than 5% of your portfolio into one company. So if you're holding overnight, like you should expect anywhere from between like a 30 to a 50% drop. News can come out, you never know. So it's just always good to be prepared and don't have more money in a position than you are comfortable with losing around 50% overnight. There's just too much stuff out of control. The market conditions right now too aren't really lovely for swing trading. The S&P is just kind of chopping around like 280 to 290, so we don't really know if we should be going long or short. So that's personally why I just generally try and close my positions. But the purpose of this video is going to be a little bit more towards swing trading and like how to manage your busy schedule. So that's what we'll cover today. So yeah, main thing is get a watch list together and then have your levels sorted out in advance. So I've already done all these levels here. We got a nice uptrend line here. So this is all in Trello in the swing trade watch list here. So I've done Visa already. So we have our buy and sell levels. So this is all going to come down to personal preference. So like how much you're comfortable losing. Again, we can't control what happens overnight, so be prepared for a 30 to 50% drop and put enough of your portfolio in that you're comfortable with that happening. So we have our breakout level here. So if we go back to here, so once this is a break, this is a buy signal. In a perfect world, you're going to want this level to break and then have it come back down and back test, and that's going to be your buy position. That's kind of the best risk reward. So you don't have one of these happen, so where it goes up, breaks out, and then it just gets rejected and comes back down. So that's the lowest risk, but again, if you're busy, you can buy the breakout, but just make sure you like have a more tight stop in place for those situations. So we'll use Visa here. The best thing I can tell you guys is just set up alerts for yourself. TradingView is really good. TD will also let you set up alerts. So for this one, I'm going to set a break of this line. It's going to trigger an alert for me. So that's going to give us our breakout level. You can set it for different things. We're just going to do only once for today's purpose. And then you can set an expiration time. So this is about a month from today. So the nice thing about this is you can look for your setups. And if it doesn't happen right on Monday, this alert's still here. So like I've had alerts trigger like 2-3 weeks later, and like usually that's still like it still lets you know if that's a pretty good setup or not, and then you can go back and look at it. So Visa crossing the horizontal line at 163.37, and then you can set it to email you or text you or like whatever whatever you prefer. So this is if you're not going to be able to watch your position. So we're going to create one of those here. So when this alerts me, I can come back and check. I can check on the position, and you can do this with any stock, right? So you can set it for Disney, Netflix, GDX, whatever you want. If you're watching a certain stock, or conversely, if I'm already in Visa and I want to have an alert trigger when it comes this way. You can also set, you can choose if it's going up or down or whatever when you're setting your alerts here. So we're going to set it for the line at 161.5, so that's going to be a trigger. We might want to go sell at that point. We might want to see if there's follow through. Whatever your investment thesis is at the time, that's what you're going to set your alert for. So I'm going to create one of those for that there. The other thing you might want to do is not necessarily crossing. You may want to do greater or less than. So that'll tell you if it, because that only happens if it crosses the line. If it opens up over the line, I'm not 100% sure if that's going to trigger it. So you might want to set it to greater than, or sorry, less than in the situation, because we're looking for it to go down. So we'll set less than for that, and then we'll hit create. So if this drops below this line at any point, it'll tell me, and then I can go back and look at my phone or whatever. You can hop on your computer, that kind of thing. So that's the main thing, is just you're going to have to do all the prep work in advance if you're not able to sit and watch your positions all the time, and changing your dollar figure amount in the position to match that of your risk tolerance, and if you can or cannot manage your position at that time. So that's a quick lesson there, and we're going to go through a couple other ways of doing this. So I'm going to open up my my practice account here and go show you. We already went through this in my orders, in the order selection. So if you guys want to go back and review that video, that's fine. So let me get this in the window okay here. There. This is not the greatest example ever, because it's not real time with what the stock price is, and the chart doesn't match up to the price here. So we're just gonna have to go off the data that we're able to for demonstrative purposes. So the other option, if you're super busy and you're not even able to get on your phone or anything like that, you can set up your orders in advance. I don't recommend doing it this way. Worst case scenario, or if you're very positive on a direction of the stock, this is another option. So we have Visa set up here, just the same as our example here. Again, the numbers are going to be slightly different because the price of the stock is different. Oh, actually, I can change it to match that. So let me just pull up Visa again. Okay, so 163.37 was our level, right? So pull that up. So we're going to put a stop buy here. So what that does is when it goes over that level, it's going to buy it for you. So we'll do 163.37, and then we'll put in a limit of 163.5. So what'll that do is when it triggers this level, it's going to buy at any price from here. You're going to set your limit of something you're comfortable paying for it. So that's going to be dependent on each person. So we'll put a limit in here, and then I've opened up a bracket order. So what a bracket order does is it will take profit at a certain level, and it will also stop you at a certain level. So we can put in this order and have it trigger, and then you'll have a profit taker and a stop loss in at the same time. So that way, if you literally can't get on your computer all day and you really want to get in this trade, this will be another option for you. So our profit taking line, so our first level that we're watching for in the video, in the chart, was 164.58. So I'm going to set that up. So that's going to take profit when it gets to that level. And then for our stop loss, I had a stop loss that I was watching. So we'll put a tight stop on this one. We'll do 161.5 was the first level I think I had on Trello. So we'll put that in. And then our max loss will be 161.0. This is just for educational purposes. Like, this is not a good risk reward in this scenario. So like realistically, I'd probably put, actually, yeah, let's do that. We'll switch it. We'll put a stop loss in at 163. Oops, not that much. 163, and then we'll do 162.75. So that just makes our risk reward level look better. This isn't like a 100% real scenario, but that's what we'll use just for putting the order through and showing you guys how to do that. So we're going to hit buy and hope that it's not going to give me any errors. Okay. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Had some technical difficulties. So what the problem was my stop loss was set for 163, and the stock is currently trading below that level, so it was giving an error to the market. So the program's not smart enough to figure out that you don't want to sell at that point. So what would happen you would short sell the stock if you tried to put that order through, and it doesn't want that to happen. So little technical difficulties. So in future note, you're going to have to set your stop loss below what the current trading price is. So you can always edit once you get through. So the Questrade app is pretty good. It'll send you an email usually if your order goes through, or it'll pop up on your phone if your order gets triggered, so that you should be able to see that. So we're going to hit buy here. So we're going to buy at our limit level here. So that'll, when it goes through, it's going to buy it. We're going to take profit at 164.58, and then our stop loss is going to be 162. Again, not super concrete numbers. This is just for demonstration purposes. You can tailor those to your risk tolerance, what profit you're looking for, etc. So we'll hit send order here. Boom. And then there we go. So we got our buy limit in over here, and we're good to go. So you can set those up for the stocks that you're watching if you can't get to the computer at a certain time. So even if you have to go for like lunch meeting or something, just make sure you can set your stop losses and profit taking from the risk levels that you're comfortable with. Okay, awesome, guys. So just shoot me a message. The long and short of it is be prepared in advance, and then use the tools at your disposal in order to give you the best chance of success in those scenarios. Okay, let's go make some money.